You're back on the John Fredericks Radio Network and the John Fredericks Radio apps, and I am your Godzilla of the Truth in America, your Oracle of the Deplorables, TGIF. Well, I just got a breath of fresh air, the flower of Indianapolis, the open rose, the courageous state senator, Liz Brown, has graced our Trump bus with her presence. So that has put me in a good mood just by having her here. So let's get right to her. Introducing State Senator, Republican District 15, Liz Brown. Liz, pick this up, put that right to your mouth.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you with us. And let me just start by saying I was so inspired by your speech yesterday. She made a speech and it really fired me up. Because, some of our speeches were good. There were a couple of them good, but Liz really inspired me. In fact, I texted the White House and I'm like, hey, put this lady on your radar screen. She's an absolute beast. But you were very courageous. Your speech was great. You couldn't obviously move the conference. But Liz Brown, thanks for being with us. What happened yesterday?
I don't know. I don't know why some of my colleagues don't understand the ramifications of what happens when we lose the Republican majority in D.C. It isn't just about the state of Indiana. And, some of my colleagues didn't like some of the tactics, et cetera. But really, you have to look at what's going to happen to the country. And I tried to explain that. As you know, some protesters didn't like it. They yelled,
I was interrupted numerous times by the wackos.
Yes.
The paid rent-a-mobbers out there.
I mean, they thought I wasn't talking about redistricting, but redistricting is about drawing maps and putting our people in power in DC. And that's exactly what happens when you have Democrats in control. So I don't know. I think I was as surprised as everybody.
What did you think going in? Like, how many votes did you think you had, like, yesterday, two days ago?
2 days ago, I think we were split. I think we were going to be at a stalemate. And as we had talked 2 weeks ago, you had to have 26 to pass it, but you also had to have 26 to decisively defeat it, which means it can't come back. If it was only 25, then it could come back in a couple of days. And of course, we had 10 Democrats. We knew that was already 10 votes on their side, but I actually thought we would be at a stalemate.
That it would be
less than 26 defeat to defeat. Yes.
Right. Less than 26.
Yes.
And the plan, so that everybody knows that we can say what the plan was now, it doesn't matter. But the plan, when we got up yesterday morning, here was the plan. We didn't think we could win, but we were certain we wouldn't be defeated.
Correct.
When we got up, which means we didn't think the opposition had 26 votes. We thought they may have 25, but they couldn't get to 26. And if they can't get to 26, they can't defeat it. So the plan was, if we had 24, let's say it was 25-24 or 25, they had 25, we had 23 or something like that. Under they having 26, we were going to hold the vote. We were going to hold the box open. We were going to hold this vote open and guard the machines with state troopers. This was the plan. This is why I was so confident going into yesterday, because we were going to guard that box. Micah Beckwith controls the board, and he was not going to close his vote, and he was not going to hit the button, and he was going to keep it open until we got to 26. And then obviously if there were a couple of holdouts, the pressure would have been intense. And so that's where we were when we got up in the morning on Thursday morning. And then it collapsed. And it started when I got a text that we lost Linda Rogers, who voted it out of committee. And now she's going to get primaried. And I hope she enjoys her next line of work, because she's not staying in the state Senate. I don't care how much it cost. She's gone. She voted it out of committee and then votes no and changes her vote. And that brought Greg Good with her, who also voted out of committee. So we expected at least Good and Rogers, who voted it out of committee, to stay with us. So that would have been 21. And then we had to get to 23. And then the knives came out. And it was a sad it was a sad spectacle to see so many in the conference go down. But shout out to Stacey Donato. She doesn't like to do media, but Stacey, we love you, and that's okay. But Stacey voted out of committee and voted with us, so good for Stacey.
Right.
It's a good lady.
Who, yes, it's going on a long postponed vacation. They've been waiting to go on for this.
I know, and she and then she apologized to me that she doesn't like to do media. I get it, so we're cool with that because that means we get more of Liz Brown.
Yeah, I didn't know about all the behind the scenes that you just mentioned, but I was a little bit surprised. And, I've been around long enough. I noticed some people were very slow to vote and to vote no. And, because no one, at least on our side, we didn't know how many no's. And those of us who were in favor of redistricting. And so I think even up to the end, there was some tentative, is this really going to happen? Is everybody really going to do this? And they did. So it's kind of amazing. I never thought 4 months ago, or it seems like years ago when we started this, that we would get to this place, with this kind of animosity and just how difficult it became to have those discussions.
How do you put this back together?
It's going to be hard. I mean, it's pretty unprecedented to have a vote like that. I mean, just a Republican bill to go down in our caucus, in our chamber, is pretty rare. It's the exception to the rule. It doesn't happen very often.
This was a Republican bill.
Yes, and it was a Republican bill.
And you think about this, by the way, we're with Liz Brown, State Senator, District 15, Indiana, Republican, courageous woman, and made a great speech. Very inspiring. I even texted you after it.
Yes, thank you.
I was fired up. That was the only thing that fired me up in a week. It was your speech. After I had to go through Greg Wright crying on Monday, which, I stop. Okay. Then I got Liz fired me up. But it unraveled. But they went against the governor. They went against the lieutenant governor. They went against the president. They went against Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson told me, I heard, okay. So Mike Johnson called, what's his name? Rick Niemeyer, Sunday night. Called him up. This is Speaker of the House, calls a state senator, obscure state senator, nice guy. Talked to me, by the way, when I called him, he answered. Guess they said I was going to call, and he was nice enough to answer, but I had a long talk with him, and right after I called, Mike Johnson called. So imagine you're a state senator, you get a call from the Speaker of the House saying, help save our majority. And by the way, your cousin's running for Congress, and he'll win if you vote this way, and it looks like he's a good guy. And I ask Rick, and he's like, 15 minutes, give me one side and then the other side, and this is really not the way we do things. And I'm like, I tell him on the phone, I'm like, Rick, do you realize if we don't get this vote, and they take the House, they're going to impeach Trump on the third day, you'll get nothing done.
I know. That's what's devastating. We'll get nothing done.
He's like, well, but it's really, it's Indiana's different. Well, it's no different if you're eating out of a trash can. Doesn't matter where you are. I just couldn't believe some of these people I talked to.
I know. It was unfortunate that, I admire and respect all my colleagues. We have a supermajority, there are 40 of us, and it has been hard for all of us. And so I appreciate where everybody stood on this in terms of trying to decipher. But, as one of my colleagues said, this is not a moral issue. And some people suggested it was. And I know that those who spoke to us from the White House or Speaker of the House or congressmen who were urging us, they were just trying to say the reality. This is what's going to happen when we lose the House. You could say, well, that happens all the time, but we're at a tipping point in the country right now. I mean, the Democrats, someone quoted JFK yesterday on the floor, and one of the Republicans, I think. And this is not the Democratic Party of JFK. This is the Democratic Socialist Party of AOC and Mandami. And that's what's going to happen to our country. I mean, they play the long game, and we missed out.
Totally. And you know, my what I was saying all week was that two will get you 20. One senator I talked to, I was off the record, so I'm not going to say who it is. Niemeyer, I was not off the record, but the guy says to me, I mean, some of the people I talked to, a bunch of whiny rhinos, and the guy is like, well, you know, it's only 2 votes. I'm like, it's not 2 votes, it's 20 votes, because there's a bunch of other Republican states that you will give them the courage to go forward with this. Well, we shouldn't be winning it by gerrymandering. I'm like, have you looked at the Illinois map?
Oh my gosh.
Have you looked at the California
Don't get me
map?
started in Illinois.
Have
When
you
my
looked-
Democratic colleagues were talking about we need to have honest and fair, independent, we don't gerrymander, and I'm like, I almost thought, should I offer to pay for them to go to Illinois and preach to their chamber? Hey guys, let's all do kumbaya and be honest and fair. It's not going to happen in Illinois. I mean, I'm sure they had a celebration last night. They weren't saying, "Oh, good job and thank you so much for being upstanding Americans."
I mean, your Republican conference was getting congratulated by Democrats, CNN, and the New York Times. It's like, you got to be like, with Republicans like that, who needs Democrats? I mean, it's just ridiculous. We're going to bring Gaskill in here in a second. This segment is brought to you by my good friend Mike Lindell and My Pillow. You know, this year has been one of the hardest for Mike and his team and Dawn Curtis and all my friends at My Pillow history. It's because they've had a lot of tough things happen to them, but they made it, right? They're the picture of company perseverance. People like Dawn Curtis fighting every day and Mike Lindell, they made it. They want to thank you for all the support that you've given them. We got some great Christmas specials. Order it today on Friday. You still got time to get it for Christmas under your tree. You can get the Children's Bible Story 5-pack, $29.98. My Slippers. What do you mean you don't have My Slippers? Are you kidding me? Everybody in your family should get a box of My Slippers under the tree. They're all going to be happy. They are the best thing ever. I travel with them, got them on the bus, got them in my hotel, never leave home without them. I got multiple pairs. Plus, you're going to get a free bottle of leather protectant spray, $39.98. Blankets, comforters. Larry, comforter, right on our bed there. Got all the My Pillows, got them in the hotel. I travel with a My Pillow. It's that good. All of it is there. Duvets. Now, as low as $25, you can get a My Pillow $14.98. Just go to mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. Take advantage of these great prices, including the standard size My Pillow, now only $14.98. And you know that all My Pillow products come with a 10-year warranty, but My Pillow has just announced that they're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee. That's right. They're extending it. Orders placed between now and Christmas will have their 60-day money-back guarantee extended through March 1st, 2026. All you got to do is go to mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. Get your Christmas presents now, folks, and you are good to go. Okay, Liz Brown is with us, and let's bring in, we got Mike on. Mike says Liz Brown is a patriot. Let's bring on Mike Gaskill, who was leading the fight in the Senate, got out of the Senate. Mike, you're with John and Liz. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. And yes, Liz Brown is a patriot. You know, when I got elected to the Senate, my good longtime friend who retired and I ran for his seat, Doug Eckerty, he told me the first thing you do when you get down there, you make friends with Liz Brown. It just might save your life. And that's exactly what I did. And she's my sister in Christ. She's a warrior. And to be quite honest, the courage that she displays over and over again, as you even saw yesterday, she puts us guys to shame.
You know, she really does, because she got the rent-a-mobbers upstairs, the paid protesters. She got them pretty fired up, right? And then Micah Beckwith had to get them removed. They were upstairs in the gallery. But of all the speeches, the only one they went crazy over was yours.
I know.
They were just heckling you and say, "What's that got to do with redistricting?" And Liz was like, "Everything." So, but Mike, we were just chatting. This is what you do. Like I always tell people. I used to coach basketball, and you'd have a tough loss, and then and I would do it the same night, right? I go in my office. I do it the same night. I have him bring the film. I got to see it now. I'll see it again tomorrow and the next day. I go, but I want to see the film. I want to see what the hell just happened. And because it's fresh in your mind. And so we're kind of replaying yesterday. We were saying that when we got up Thursday morning, nobody expected a defeat. We expected maybe a stall, but nobody thought they'd get to 26 or we'd get to 26. And this thing was just a blowout. Mike, what happened?
Well, I don't want to speak negative about my colleagues, but I have to say that I'm very, very disappointed in some of them. The people that I love and that I have worked alongside and watched them cast courageous votes in the past, the problem is that they don't see where we're at today. And I think we need a modern day Paul Revere. I've got a Mustang. Do I need to hop in my Mustang and drive around with a loudspeaker and tell them that the Marxists are coming? Because they are. That's what the modern day Democratic Party is, a bunch of Marxists. And they know how to tap into some of the strongest human emotions, fear and anger. They've painted us as villains, and they're modern day snake oil salesmen. And as you saw yesterday with the visual aids, these people are playing for keeps, and some of our guys just couldn't get over the fact, in their mind, that this is not fair. This is playing dirty. Absolutely not. This is about saving the republic. So I'm highly disappointed, but every time we would start to make some progress, Liz was working like a trooper. Chris Garton was working hard. And every time we started to make some progress and bring some guys over, they were coming in right behind us to turn them back. And it was rough for me to stand up there and to get my butt kicked on national television to stand up for my president. And I knew that the vote was going to be, when I stood up there, I knew the vote was going to be 19 in our favor, and 20.
We didn't think that we didn't think that when we got up Thursday morning, especially at 4 a.m. when I got up. Mike, hang with us. We got Mike Asker, we got Liz Brown. We got to go top of the hour news. We're going to be right back. Micah Beckwith is going to be here 9:30. We're going to take your calls. I know a lot of people are upset. They're trying to figure this out. 888-480-John, 888-480-5646, and we'll be right back.